looks like Bill Haney has joined us. What is up?
What's up? What's up, Ness?
What's going
Shout out
on?
to the
Good morning.
Boxing
Good
Voice.
morning.
Shout out to the Boxing Voice, man. Everyone in the chat. Everyone worldwide that views you and what you do for us in the morning, and your attempt to give it the real and the raw. And however you like it. You know what I mean? You serve it every morning, so we appreciate you.
Nah, man, we appreciate you jumping on. My producer's gonna kill me because we didn't do this.
You're going to see it on MGM Grand. Only one will stand. And Bill Haney, William E. Haney come with that fight plan.
They didn't think niggas out of Oakland was gonna push up on their ass. You dig?
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Well, tell the truth and shame the devil that Devin is a bad motherfucker.
WBC, the lightweight champion of the world.
Come get the real belts, not this ain't franchise shit.
That boy is good.
Bill Haney, say his name 3 times, pop up like candy, man.
When you talk about that, you talk about one of the best fighters in boxing.
SDS Promotions.
Properly introduced now. My apologies.
Absolutely. It's all respect. Hey,
But let's get into it, man. You
ain't
know
no-
what the
ain't no
people
time-
want to
it ain't
hear
no-
from you.
well, ain't no other time to hear it, and I consider myself as a credible source, being that I represent the Haney family and the brand, and ain't no ducking and dodging, no hiding behind no publicists, no, tweeting, no nothing. You know what I mean? I'm here for it, and I'm telling you that we've done everything possible and have offered our service in every way possible to George Kambosos. We bring everything to the table to make two undefeated fighters, young, in their prime, with no excuses, no blueprints to losses, no none of that. When you talk about Lomachenko, I say that you talk about a great fighter in Lomachenko, a fighter that's he stood the test of time in terms of the time that he's been around. He hasn't fought a whole lot of fights, but he's a 33-year-old fighter. Devin is 23. You see what I'm saying? So, but when you talk about just fairness alone, a line that we consider to be a credible line to a world championship, or let alone undisputed in history. When you talk about that, then you talk about there's no other fight to be made other than George Kambosos and Devin Haney. When you talk about the money that can be provided, it's a handsome ransom to any fighter of this day and age, and at the stage of all those guys in their careers. It's just no reason for it not to happen. We can't make an excuse that Loma is a better fighter or a bigger name, or because when you talk about bigger name in Australia, what did you need the name for if you said that you were going to sell out the place? Mm-hmm. You said you were going home and it was going to be a place that you're selling out. Now you're saying that it's June 5th, the first day of winter in Australia, in an open stadium. Makes no sense. We said that we was ready. They fought at the same time. We fought, I think, a month behind. He came in and he scouted the fight. We've been ready. He's been working out. We've been working out, right? There's no excuse. All this time that you're buying to take a look at other fighters and all that. Let's go on the word that George Kambosos made to Devin himself before the fight, as fighters, as young fighters, right? Loma fought and lost to Orlando Salido. Was Orlando Salido, was he an old fighter? Was he a young fighter? What was the excuse that when he lost to Orlando Salido?
The excuse was that he wasn't expecting or used to the pros and Salido's dirtiness.
Okay, so Salido was considered an old veteran, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lost to him. Ironically, right, when Devin fought the old veteran, Devin beat the shit out of him, and he was considered old, and that was Linares, right?
I mean, but that's two different style of fights, though.
Okay, but so which one is more accomplished, Linares or Salido?
Yeah, but Salido probably more accomplished because of the win. None of Linares' wins are as big as that Vasil win. None.
Wait. Wait. So wait. So wait.
Do you remember the Salido Garcia fight?
Give me a second.
Salido Garcia. That shit was
if you beat a medalist, you beat any medalist, right? You beat a medalist, right? Not a pro, because how much experience as a pro did he have?
It don't matter, Bill.
I'm
just telling you. My opinion is,
if I'm gonna come on here and answer questions,
my bad.
If I answer questions and I ask a question, I expect an answer just like we expect an answer from me. We don't expect Bill Haney to say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, and give me a second. What I'm getting to is whether it was time to beat a young fighter, a hungry fighter in their prime, and a Jojo Diaz, whether it was to beat an old fighter and Jorge Linares, who poses things, and it doesn't have to be dirtiness. It doesn't have to be none of that, right? But a veteran. I'm saying is that Devin answered the questions. There's no other question. We've been in the ring 27 times. We have an extensive enough marketing where you pull clips from fights, where you pull shit, where you have an extensive library, right, to market a great fight with anybody. The thing where you're throwing Devin to the side or pushing Lomachenko ahead of the line is preposterous, my man. It makes no sense. Listen, when you already lose to the guy that he just beat, and then to say, well, that's the fight, against another undefeated fighter that him himself, in Kambosos, is not the favorite. You know what I'm saying? To say, okay, well, I'd rather pick him. I'd rather pick this guy because of what? The reason why you went to Australia for a bigger name is because, you went to Australia because you said you were the name. You are the name there. You didn't go there because you said you needed help.
Well, I mean, I think that you said that, there shouldn't be any questions. The question is that Kambosos and Lou DiBella keep raising that Devin Haney wants too much money.
Devin Haney will take less than Vasil Lomachenko. We'll accept less of everything than Vasil Lomachenko.
Be careful,
now,
because your son already said that he'll take the same deal as Loma. You might not.
Well, listen.
You don't need to say less.
No. Listen, we'll take the deal, that deal, and I'll give him some money. And I'll give him some money I'll pay him some money. Yeah, because I know what the people want to pay, right? I'm part of the people. I'll pay. And I'm not talking about small money. So now it comes down to, not only is he going to get the deal with Loma, the same deal, he going to get more. He's going to get more. Now, wait a minute. This is Devin Haney Promotions. I'm Bill Haney. I'm representing Devin Haney Promotions. And I'm saying on the behalf of us, we'll pay more.
So you're going to cut Kambosos a separate check?
Absolutely.
Do you feel...
Listen. We got it.
But let me ask you, do you feel that
listen, but hold on, before we go any further, we got it. It ain't no, and I told you, I said, when you got a chance to hear, we're not ducking, dodging, running. We're not tweeting. We're not doing none of that, right? I'm here, I'm representing, I'm on TBV. And I'm telling you, we got it. And by all means, let's not stop ever looking at us. Is it something else that you need? Please come talk to us. You know what I'm talking about? That's how serious about this fight that we are. You know.
Well, Coppinger is reporting that Loma.
I don't know what Coppinger is reporting. I'm telling you what Bill Haney is saying.
I know. I just want you to know.
No, but listen. Let's reiterate to the boxing voice and to the people what Bill Haney is saying, and what I'm going to let you then ask me, and not use Twitter, not use what third-party people are saying in terms of a Coppinger or a Benson or that. Come on, man. Come on live with this shit. Because that's what's happening with this shit nowadays. Promoting these fights, right? And making these fights happen. Remember me and you came on live with what's Fortuna's guy name?
Samson.
Oh yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Was that beautiful?
Samson's hot in these streets. You seen that?
Oh, ain't no doubt. Hey, shout out to Samson and the wonderful job that he's doing, right? And Samson got a bar. He got a good bar of me and what's happening with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing him out here, and he's working and he in these streets, and that's what a promoter is supposed to do. I called him on it, and I said, Samson, listen, you got to get out here, and you got to make sure that it happens for your fighter. We can't allow voices like Coppinger, Benson, Dan Raphael. We can't allow those voices to be the voice of Devin Haney Promotions and Bill Haney and what we stand for and what we represent 15, 16, 17 years in the gym, sweaty gyms everywhere, sparring, fighting everybody internationally as an amateur, whether it been the Ukraine, Dominican Republic, whatever. Listen, man, you think that Coppinger represents what the fuck we saying? We'll do everything to make this motherfucking fight happen, including put up some money. Now, one thing that he said, sell the jury. We don't got to sell the jury. We got money over here.
So the only reason I was even bringing that up is to say that Loma has signed. So I'm asking.
We've signed every hypothetical that can happen. Just because they want to run with the narrative and said Loma done signed, don't mean shit. He signed a long time ago. Then he came back and he said, listen, you got the best deal. I've already signed it, right? There's no new deal. The only new deals is coming on the table is from Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn, who are constantly trying to create other ways to get this guy in the ring. On down to the new narratives that are being created by the media are just enough for us to say, hey, man, we'll do that too. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how far y'all want to take it, but we'll do that too.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah. Some of these things that you have, if you're taking this Loma deal, which your son did on Twitter, it means you have to fight twice in Australia.
Hey, man, listen. We'll fight as many times as we got to fight, and I just told you we'll do that too, and we're going to put up some money.
No, I just want to go through all the talking points so that they hear it verbally and they don't say, well, he never said they willing to fight twice in Australia. Loma's willing to fight twice in Australia.
Hey, brother, we willing to fight whatever deal that Top Rank, before you do a deal, listen, if you get it down to Loma said he'd fight for free, then we fight for free. How about that? Now, how about that?
If Loma said,
listen, we've been getting money. We've been getting money, and it ain't no secret. You see what I'm saying? Money is not the issue. I just told you we're fighting for free. If it gets down to Loma, we'll take 100,000. We'll fight for free, my man. Money is not an issue.
Those are dangerous words, though, you know.
Man, listen, and we live a dangerous life. Hello?
I mean, but so why? So you're saying the media is creating the narrative that your son wants a lot of money because it's Camboso saying this.
Listen, you've never heard me mention any money. The thing that you might have heard me just say was free. You dig what I'm saying? How can you talk? You've never heard us talk about no money. So how can we overprice ourselves? And then I just came back and said we'd fight the guy for free.
And
That's what the people, listen, the people on here talking about the people saying they want to see the fight. We want to fight. Only reason we want to fight Lomachenko, right, is because everybody said that nobody would want to fight him. Tank, he said he wanted Tank. Tank said that he didn't want to fight him, or Mayweather Promotions, or something was misunderstood or misconstrued that neither party could get together and say at the same time they want to fight. We did. We did. And we continue to say it. We don't duck no fade from nobody. If you raise your hand, we say that you're raising it with respect. But we're at the top of the division. I don't discredit none of those guys. But if you say that we can't make the fight happen for contractually, now you can say you don't want to fight us like you have before. You can say that we don't have enough experience. You can say that. You can say that we don't have a belt. You can say all those things. But one thing you can't come on here and say is that we pricing ourselves out. Brother, we the ones that was pricing ourselves in because we've been paying everybody. Hello? We the ones that's been bringing the money to the table. Hello? Wasn't nobody messing with Eddie and Matchroom like that. We believed in the ability to have global marketing from a standpoint that we were kicking butt here in the United States. Nationally, we have a great national buzz, and we thought a partnership with Eddie Hearn would provide global visibility because Devin is the guy, because he gets down. That means marketing his talent. Not no bullshit. I'm talking about boxing. He's a talented dude. Everyone in our country and the world and our boxing community knows this. So when you come down and you say, okay, media is going to create these narratives, well, that's why we have Devin Haney Promotion, and that's why we're very hesitant about giving away our ability and our voice to speak for times like this where it affects Devin's legacy and the narratives being created that he's not available. So we've sacrificed working with the bigger machines and having great marketing plans, having great platforms, great visibility, whether it be on linear television or digital television, but sacrificing those times for times like this that I can get out and let you know there's nothing that we're not going to do to make the fight happen with George Kambosos and that team down in Australia, and going down there and having a great opportunity to have a big event that we so-called are supposed to be able to kick our feet up and show up.
Bill, let me read this here from Kambosos 3 days ago, replying to your son on Twitter, who says everyone that doesn't loses, and that's when, you know, Devin was saying whoever doesn't duck him ends up losing when they fight him. George,
no, not when they fight him. When they fight themselves, and they run into themselves like bumper cars in the junkyard. You dig what I'm saying? And then when you downplay the fact of, and you're George Kambosos, you ultimately say that you're bigger than Devin in the United States of America, where the biggest licensing fees happen for boxing, where the biggest fights in the world happen. You have Canelo Alvarez, arguably, and the biggest fighter in the world. Arguably, the biggest fighter in the world is Canelo Alvarez, who's never fought in Mexico and never complained to fight in Mexico. And then you talk about Manny Pacquiao, the multiple division world champion, who never argued about fighting in the Philippines, right? So when you talk about something, you have to understand, right, who you're talking to and what you're talking about. You're talking to Bill Haney about Devin Haney and fighting his son. Man, they say a whole lot of shit. But the thing that they don't say is what the people want to say is, it's on.
So let me just get this out here. Kambosos says, because the best are fighting the best. Kambosos, Lopez, Loma. Why not accept lose offer then? Then we got to fight. Or you rather counter offer, lowball, and then lie and make it out like we don't want to splatter your face across the ring. Come back to me when you're serious, mate. So why is he saying that there is an offer from Lou. Have you received an offer from Lou DiBella?
No, I have not received an offer from Lou DiBella, and I have sent Lou DiBella text messages, right? I've called Lou DiBella. I have it on my phone. Me and Lou text back and forth, so it's not like it won't be a first time that we text.
Is he answering you? Is he answering you?
No.
Oh, so he stopped answering you how long ago? Check the phone. Oh, you
listen.
Damn, you using it? No. Forget about it.
Oh.
Forget about it. All right. So what about the fact that, let me move this out. Uh-oh, he want to check it anyway. All right, good. That'll give me the time to ask you this then. Lou saying that Eddie's offer to Kambosos was disrespectful. Did you think the offer that you guys made to Kambosos was disrespectful? Bill?
Hold on. So, hello?
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
Yeah, so Saturday, as of the last text message that I have that doesn't have a response to it from him is as of Saturday.
Did you feel that the offer from Eddie to Lou for the Kambosos fight was disrespectful? Because Lou DiBella saying that the offer was disrespectful.
Well, growing up in East Oakland, California, you know, a place that I love so dearly with all my heart, I've learned, you know, a lot of things growing up in East Oakland, and an offer with millions of dollars and an opportunity to do great business is never disrespectful. That's nothing that's disrespect, and anything that's sent over as an offer or a counter offer or anything of like that is business, and you do good business. And he always said that, he mentioned how Lou is a professional and a constant businessman. Then why are we still on the table? If we've already did something that's so insulting, when you say disrespect, when a person has disrespected me, then that means that, you know, it's a very serious violation, right? And you don't mean that. That doesn't mean that the fighter then comes back 2 days, 3 days later and still mentioning Devin Haney and still saying that Devin Haney is a potential on the as a potential fight, right? So I'm not disrespected by anything. I'm not disrespected by the fact that he's even has the audacity to even pick Lomachenko when he agreed with Devin that it would be Devin, right? I'm not disrespected by it. I'm out here campaigning and hoping that they get the message, that Lou gets the message, that George gets the message, Jim gets the message, that being a world champion prize fighter, right, comes with responsibility. And avoiding, right, all that shit catches up. And what Devin said is that it caught up to all the other fighters.
Mm-hmm.
It caught up to him, right?
I hear you. I thought it meant different. I thought it meant, you know, when you take the challenge, those that take the Devin Haney challenge end up losing. That's how I interpreted it. But
no. Everybody that goes that way, they're not undefeated. They're just like George Kambosos. He can take a tune-up, right? His last 3 fights was split decisions. And who's to say he goes into it as a favorite with Devin or Loma? I'm not arguing and saying who will win or who won't or who's good or who's bad. I'm not saying that. I gave Lomachenko his props. I'm giving George his props, so on and so forth. But when you talk about the line, the way that it goes, this is not up for no debate, man. The next fight that should happen in the lightweight division, the next fight in the boxing for true lightweight supremacy, to make the clear undisputed, bring all that to a head, make the clear undisputed championship is Devin and George Kambosos. That's the only thing I'm saying, Ness.
I got Jaime Nieto that says, I respect Bill. Wait, let me put this up actually. All right. I respect Bill, but he telling one side of the story, and there's always two sides. Of course, he's gonna put all the blame on the other side and none on theirs.
I'm not putting any blame on anyone. What I'm saying is the pieces fit. They fit. You're trying to make something not fit. It doesn't make sense that George Kambosos beat Tio and Tio beat Loma. Makes no sense for George Kambosos to fight Loma.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense. The natural person in the order, in the line, right? And they said every reason why we weren't in line. And that's what Dev is saying, is it doesn't still, right? We should have been fought Loma, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fight should have been happened. The fight with Tio should have been happened. It could have happened in the WBC tournament. Then it could have happened for Undisputed, right? He picked his mandatory in George Kambosos, who was what kind of odds, what kind of favorite was he over him?
Not a big favorite. He was an underdog.
Okay, so when we say that, what was it, like what?
Shit, I would have to check. I don't know. Brandon, somebody check, because I would think Kambosos had to at least be a 3-1 underdog at least.
Okay, well, so something like that. So he was a huge underdog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tio chose him, and it didn't work out, right? The guy said in the ring to Tio, you want to run it back again? Tio said no, right? Tio then came back when they asked Tio, who do he think, or who would he want to see, or who do he think he should fight? Who did he say?
Devin.
So I'm saying is like, I'm not saying nothing bad about George. I'm not saying nothing bad about him. I'm just saying that I think that's going to be a great fight, and we need to make that fight happen, right? And start promoting the two undefeated guys.
But if Lou isn't answering you, how do you get some paper for Devin to sign? Because again, Loma has signed.
Well, Loma ain't signed Lou's paper. Loma then signs Top Rank's paper.
Okay, so when are you going to be able to get some paper to sign?
Well, shit, I can write that up right now to sign, because we signed to ourselves. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, you need to get the offer in their hands.
Wait a minute. No, see, that's where the great platforms like yourselves and the great thinkers of the world get a chance to take a look at. I
got it for you. The odds. Wow! Shout out to Danny Alvarez. The odds for the Kambosos Lopez looks like he was 1,000. So he was a minus 1,000. Damn, Kambosos was a plus 650. So he was, 100 would have got you 650 plus your 100 back.
Right. But that's great. But when you have thinkers that can think and to get a chance to watch the boxing voice and develop our opinion on the shit, right? There's no way around it. Yes, from in the past, when you only have one platform, you got the Sports Illustrated that Mike Carpenter is writing, right? Then you got the
Mannix is
LA
Illustrated.
Times, LA Times, New York Times. You have these outfits that are just marketing the stories that are favorable to the promoter that the fighter is fighting under, right? There's no no ties like
you saying there's a bias in this.
Well, yes. When you talk about the old media outlet and the outfit, the way in which they do it, and the disparity in culturally, the disparity in their writing styles, their actual who they are, right? And it's not good or bad, but it's just that's what represented the boxing as a whole, because that was what was being wrote and reported on. And now that we have guys that write and that look like us, that are of the same community, that are also writing and also blogging, you're getting a more balanced report on things.
Mm-hmm.
And when that shift and that turn happened, right? Devin was on the forefront of it, right? And that's why I say you go look back on promoting himself and bringing awareness to himself. Well, the guys like George Kambosos can't say just because you beat Tio that you're an emperor and Devin is not worthy or he's not the correct dance partner.
Well, he's definitely calling himself an emperor. But I got a super chat here from Marcus that says, now we talking, Bill. Let these people know it's legacy over money. If y'all think it's cap, tell Kambosos to accept the terms. But again, accepting terms, for anyone to accept any terms, there needs to be some sort of paper.
I'm gonna tell you this: if Devin was ever concerned about money and not legacy, then he would have signed with the money team. And listen, and to not be signed with the money team and moving around in these streets ain't never been no easy thing. You know what I'm saying? The thing, like I said, is when we did the deal with Eddie, we did the deal knowing that we could fight worldwide, and also we would be on the table, because with Eddie's fighters traditionally, right, they've been on the table, whether it be with Top Rank or whether they've been with Oscar De La Hoya, right?
Mm-hmm.
Frank Warren, they've been on the table.
Well, I got some questions from the people here. I got Ruin a 504 that says, if the Kambosos fight doesn't work out, what's the backup plan?
We just got to see. I'm being super optimistic about it because of our position in the line, the order of things. You know what I mean? I'm like, they just keep grinding and they're not going to be able to deny it. And that's been our whole thing, right? And I think this is one of those times that even if, just like with the Tio, it wasn't magnified as much with Tio, that he could petition to unify with Dev. Now Kambosos, right, can unify, right? He can unify with Dev and not face his mandatory, right? The unification. So the people are now getting a chance to really see what the real is. Because if you can unify, then ultimately, what is Devin? And who is he? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When I told you, I said that there's nowhere in the WBC that Devin can be the mandatory to the franchise, but the franchise can be the mandatory to Devin. Mm-hmm. Now, this guy, Kambosos, can choose between Devin and Lomachenko, but he has to tell the WBO that he wants to unify. He can't go with Ryan Garcia. He can't go any other place.
But Bill, what about the fact that your co-partner and co-promoter Eddie Hearn is saying now that the WBO has ordered the Loma Kambosos fight, but that he's still trying to get it done?
Which means that the only way that it can get done is by him unifying with Devin for the true undisputed.
But a deal.
You see what I'm saying?
I know. I hear you. I hear you. That's
what
I said in the beginning of the show.
And that was the same way with Tio. That was the same way with Tio.
Go ahead. You got distracted? Are you there? Let me see. All right. Looks like you might have got a text or something. But we are joined by Bill Haney, father of Devin Haney, obviously representing DHP. Are you there, Bill? I cannot hear you, no. You must have muted yourself. Nothing yet. Oh, and he's gone. All right, and we'll look to get him back on here. Hopefully he calls back in, because that was interesting. I had some more Patreon questions I needed to get it to, and I'm sure he'll jump back on though. But all right. If you want to ask him a question, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. And yeah, drop him a question. In the meantime, I'm going to get to Mr. Special Feature. What up? Special Feature.
Right after you did what I tell you live.
We're going to have to get back with you, champ. You got a lot of background noise, but I will keep it moving.
Brooklyn Jew is coming through your town.
Let's get to it.
When you see old dirty bastards in a position like that, then you know that I'm getting ready to bust your...
I love my TVV, comrades.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Listen, man.
What?
Goddamn spider crab, goddamn Shao Shane. That's all I need. And I'm good.
SDS Promotions.
Hey, Ness, you hear me, right?
I hear you.
Listen, love my TVV comrades, love my TVV live chat comrade.
Damn.
You want to say something?
Champ, I'll be right back. Bill just jumped in. My bad. Don't go nowhere. Bill, you back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
Hey,
right.
man, I love that dude energy, man. It's crazy how always me and him come on and I always talk about he from New York or something, right?
Yeah,
His
Brooklyn.
accent and shit. Huh?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I love that dude's energy, man.
King Born is his name. And
King Born?
Yeah, King Born.
Okay.
I got David Maldonado, who sends a question, and he says, what's up, Mr. Haney? Question. If and when Tio moves up and sparks Barboza and Josh Teller, would you
We love it.
pursue a fight with
We love it.
with
We love
Lopez
it.
again? Being
we
that
love
he,
it at 140.
All
We
right.
love it at 140. I mean, then that gives both of those kids are growing, and I'm sure T.O. He's saying that he's grown out the division. Devin is on his way, and take nothing away from Teofimo Lopez, at a later date for sure.
All right. The next one is from Mr. Adore that says, what is yours and Devin's relationship with Dazn? Can you go direct to Joe Markowski or above if needed to get answers?
I don't move outside of the protocol. Devin is he's the boss. Devin can talk to Joe. Devin can talk to Eddie. Devin can talk to all of them. So yeah, as far as me personally, I like to move within the team.
Mm-hmm. We got James Valdez in San Antonio, Texas, says, out of all the locations you and your son have fought out of, which brings back fond memories and why that particular location?
I think probably to me, I mean, there's so many of them, man. But so many. I automatically thought Madison Square Garden and the Zaro Abdullah fight over there in the little room was just, kind of like, once you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Gave us that kind of vibes, So, but we also, of course, liked it MGM Grand. The Mandalay Bay was beautiful. That was a nice night there. You got You got in DC that night over there in Baltimore, not Baltimore, but DC.
Yeah, the
Over
harbor,
at the
MGM Grand Harbor.
yeah, at the MGM Grand Harbor. That was beautiful, man. All our people came out. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the beginning of something special as well. So just so many memories of places, man. And we look forward to building more memories.
I got Brandon Lenz that says, Bill, at any point in this journey with your son, have you ever felt like you were being frozen out due to going the independent route? Also, I think Maxie Hughes' fight should be revisited if things fall apart. It's for a belt. Shows you're willing to travel. Fellow DAZN fighter.
That's a two-part question. Let me answer the last part first, and then you can you can ask me the first part because I forgot it. But going to the UK is a dream of Devin's, a dream of ours as well. We went to London and got a warm reception. So we're looking forward to going over to the UK and fighting. Maxie Hughes is the miracle man. Shout out to what him and what his team has been doing. But right now, I am 100% focused on George Kambosos and this unification of all the belts.
All right, I got a few more here. Looks like Brandon Maurice in Cincinnati. And
you got new equipment or some kind of new Skype or something, right? This is dope. I'm saying because normally my head would get cut off, but now it's like,
Oh yeah, they upgraded. So Brandon Maurice says, why haven't you taken Devin to the Bay for a fight? The town or the city will come out for a dope event regardless of opponent. That's Maxie Hughes.
No, we're ready. We're ready for it. And we know that the town, the Bay, Northern California, is ready for it. And we represent that Northern California, that independence, that Bay Area independence, that grind, that where you have ownership and you have a controlling voice in the way that your career is going, your artiste is being developed. That's a Bay Area mindset, and I wasn't the first one that started it, but I embrace it, and I embrace it as ours as well.
Next one is from James Benitez that says, Gary Russell with one arm really impressed me. I still feel Gary with one arm would be competitive and beat most fighters. So why not revisit a Gary fight since we all believe that undisputed ain't happening? I got Gary if y'all make the fight. Damn.
Well, shout out to Gary Russell and all the Gary Russell fans who listen. If you got if you got a Gary Russell fan or supporter in your corner, man, you got to ride or die. You know what I mean? We've been through several talks and negotiations, and I've already had a level of respect for the DMV, but I developed an even more deeper respect for the DMV and the way that they ride about not only Gary Russell, but Tank Davis as well, and that whole area, so anything is possible. But like I said about to the other caller, I would be emotionally deficient if I started to revisit that and also have George Kambosos on the table. It's impossible for us to completely, give all our focus if it's displaced in other places. Right now, we're 100%, 110% focused on George Kambosos.
All right, I got Steve in the UK, and he says, hi, Bill. With respect, we hear a lot from you on TBV. We barely hear from Devin. When will Devin step off Twitter and onto YouTube to call out these guys himself? Thanks for being a co-host, Steve in the UK. I like that co-host.
Well, going into it, that we knew and we understood that we both had exceptional talents in different areas, and coming together and being this two-headed monster, in the sense of me being able to articulate and you know, Devin's thoughts here on the TBV early at 7 o'clock in the morning, to whereas Devin, you know, is a 23-year-old fighter, right? Who's, you know, the last thing that we want him to be doing is lip wrestling over here with the TBV community. Now, me, I represent and willing and able to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And come on here and let you guys know that we as a team, right, as a collective, right, is ready to go to Australia to make this thing happen. Outside of that, you know, Devin trained twice yesterday. He trained in the boxing gym and the strength and conditioning. So, you know, I don't think that we're asking Lomachenko to do any of those things. I don't think that we're asking even George Kambosos to do those things. But we are asking that Lou DiBella, Bill Haney, Eddie Hearn, right, the guys that are actively negotiating these things, Peter Kahn, right, to give the people the truth, right? And that's the only thing that we ask, right? And if they said that truthfully that Devin has done everything and that he's a consummate professional in the sense of, and his team, that they've done everything that they can to make the fight happen, and we just choose to go another direction, well, that would be nothing new to us. We've, you know, people have said that. But to then come on and say that it's about the money, well, then that's where I answered the bell. And that's why you hear me right now today.
We got the best dad ever in Baltimore. Not gonna lie, never thought you were getting this fight. So to me, I don't care. But if you do get the fight, Tank will be right there waiting when the smoke clears. Hands up emoji. He will beat your son easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about easily doing anything with my son in the ring. I don't think my son makes it easy for anybody, right? And that's just keeping it 100, you know. So we have some fans, like I say, that are ride or die, and then we have some that ride or die and are delusional. And I think that particular fan, when he's saying Tank it being an easy fight, it won't be.
So they haven't been in the ring or shared the ring since that sparring session when so long ago? Tank and Devin?
Well, yeah. I don't think it wasn't that long ago, but it was long ago enough that you know, Tank knows that Devin is nothing easy, and any time that you've heard Tank act really say, you know, what Devin is inside the ring, you know, I think he's given Devin his props, and I think Devin has given Tank his props.
How old were they?
I'm not sure.
They were pros?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I made a few thousand on it though. I don't remember the age, but I know I made some money. If that's
how'd you make some money on the sparring session?
Well, that's the thing is, ironically, is how do you make some money on the sparring session if it's not clear? But Coach Levi and Adrian Broner's dad, they're gentlemen. You know, they're off out that Midwest, so they, you know, I got big respect for them and what they who they are and what they've done in boxing. And we made a gentleman's bet. You know what I mean?
But what was the bet though? Because the terms are always what's important.
Well, it's the first one to stop. It's doghouse rules.
First one to stop.
That's how it goes.
Okay, so you're saying your son stopped Tank?
Well, you can ask Ellie. I got paid. You know what I'm saying? I got paid off of the shit. I mean, like I said, these is shit that I keep.
But I mean, did he stop him? Did he stop Gervonta Tank Davis, or did Tank Davis stop sparring like he did with Red Catch because he's like, yo, I'm good with 2 rounds. I'm good with 4 rounds.
Well, when you stop, I get the money. So I don't know what reason you want to stop.
Did Tank know there was a bet in place?
Of course he knows that. What do you mean? Of course he knows that there's bets in place. I'm betting from the corner, and there's Adrian Broner is in the corner with.
So
Tank.
I just want to be clear here. There's no way that Tank could have not heard that there was a gentleman's bet amongst teams.
Well, listen, the thing with the gentleman's bet amongst the teams was us. Mm-hmm. The fact that the great TBE, I'm getting confused.
No, you ain't confused. You ain't confused. We the best ever too.
listen. But TBE was there. So that beats any kind of money, the little small money that we had. That's small money in terms of gaining the respect and impressing TBE. Mm-hmm. And I always I catch flack sometimes about these stories, right? That I tell about what happened in the doghouse and all that. But Dev was raised by Floyd. You know what I'm saying? He was raised off of the energy of Floyd, the energy of Zab, the energy of Hasim Rockman. He was raised in Las Vegas, right? Mike McCallum, we spent a whole lot of time with Mike McCallum. And what Mike McCallum said most is do not let them do Devin like they did Mike. I said, Mike, what is that? He said, they just didn't tell the truth. I said, what, Mike? He said, well, I was ready to fight Sugar Ray, Hearns, all the Duran, all of them. He said, and they played him. And he was played because of the sports writers that at that particular time being influenced by the promoters that they were influenced, and he just couldn't get his shot. So I made sure that I promised to Mike McCallum that I wasn't going to let Devin be dead like that. So a lot of the times that things that I say, I couldn't say if we were contractually tied to certain companies, and the people wouldn't get a chance to hear the real.
All right, I got a few super chats here. We got Mr. Calderon that says, if Haney giving up his entire purse for the fight, that's all I got to hear. This is a duck. Javi says, Kambosos is losing whoever he fights next, but wants to make as much money as he can before his 15 minutes of fame is up. Do you think he loses if he takes the Loma fight?
I think it's a great fight. It's a great fight between them. Loma stands a chance to win. George stands a chance to win, but it's just not the right next fight. I can't say anything bad about the fight, right? Only thing that I can say something is bad about the choice and who you choose in the fight.
Is it the easier fight? People are saying it's the easier fight for George.
I think so.
And why? Why is that?
I think because you have 2 times that you got a chance to see Lomachenko get beat, right? And so with that, you have 2 different ways. You have the way in which you think, you have the way in which Orlando thought, and you all have also the way in which T.O. And by having those combinations, you can see what where a fighter was the blueprint.
We got Lids Low in Decatur, Georgia that says, Bill, F that WBC. Go over to the WBO. No comment? All right. Guess you won't have a comment on. Are you there? Let me make sure you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You might not have a comment on this one. Have you ever, and this is Majid in Ohio, have you ever considered pressing charges or suing the WBC? No comment. All right. Nope. All right. Schoolcraft says, if Devin was going if Devin was doing what George is doing, fans wouldn't be dogging him. Melalented fighters always got to jump through hoops. Hands up emoji. James in Alabama says, Ness, I think our producer Brendan Lenz made Bill an intro. Yeah, I played it. But I guess we'll give it to him on the outro again. I think that's everybody, man. Bill, man, so when are we gonna get this this saga? It's a saga now. You guys about to turn into the new Mayweather Pacquiao, you think?
Listen, one thing that I wanted to just come out here because I know that TBV is the voice of the streets, it's the voice of the people, right? I want to come out here and touch the people, right? You can't make and have accusations against Devin Haney and DHP and not have and not going to hear us come out and publicly, right? Publicly give our representation. And that's what I want to do. I want to just kill all that narrative that Devin is not willing and ready to do everything to make the fight happen with George Kambosos. So there's no deal that they can get that's going to be better with Lomachenko and Bob Arum. There's just not, bro.
Well, let's hope, man, because this needs it will be documented. Hopefully, it becomes more of a thing. It would be Vasil now accepting franchise and not fighting Devin. Tio deciding to choose his mandatory over, allowing Undisputed to trump his mandatory and fighting Devin. And now Kambosos choosing to fight someone that has already lost to the person he beat rather than fight Devin. I mean, Jesus, this is a story that needs to definitely be told.
And there's no side of the street BS. You see what I'm saying? And we're not being protected. And when you're not on the side of the street of protection, right? You make yourself vulnerable, right? And Devin that's why I was able to kill the narrative that Lou is trying to talk to us, that he's trying to give a deal to us through Eddie and all that. I just killed all that. I'll call Lou myself. What? I'm not tied to where we got to do it. I'll call Lou myself then and just and see, hey, Lou, what's going on? Nothing. So, and if Lou feels that it's something else different, right, come out and say it. Don't hide behind these, because Lou's a very articulate guy as well, right? So he's able to text. And I get on my kids so much. I'm like, well, how do you guys just text so fucking much? How do you know that that's what he meant or that's what she meant by the text? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, Dad. They said, Dad, we text, right? So listen, fuck all that texting and tweeting and bullshit. If you're saying that we're not available, come out and say it. I'm any platform. As soon as I see him on there, I'm pulling up. Anywhere.
Yo,
anywhere Lou at. As soon as Lou go on the play, I dare him.
Nah, he already told me. I reached out again, and he already said, like, I'm not entertaining it. I don't know.
Exactly, because I'm going to pull up.
It's crazy, though, because he used to be a guy that, would come on and would say how he's feeling. I don't know, man. I always felt that the Top Rank way was gonna be the way, because Lou's been doing a lot of business with Top Rank, man. A lot of business with Top Rank.
When he came out before that, he came out and said that he was going over there, back over to Al. He was going over to Al, and he was going to take the fight to Tank, man. Come on, man. So that was the first choice. You see what I'm saying? And the second thing is if Lou was that tight with Bob, then why didn't Lou make the fight happen for Top Rank instead of with Triller? I'm waiting. No, you got to answer that one.
I mean, because Triller was giving them more money. That's why.
So when
he was getting 6.1, so he's getting the cut from Kambosos off of 6.1. He not gonna have any quarrels with that. Just like when the next bid was Dazn, and that's the second highest. He ain't gonna have no quarrels with that. Right now, they trying to act like this the best deal.
Okay, so now let me ask you this though.
And obviously it is.
Since when? Let me ask you
Obviously
this.
it is because
Since
you saying that
when-
Devin would take Loma's offer, which means it's less than what Devin wanted originally.
And listen, and since when does Bob Arum's deal beat Eddie Hearn's deal?
Rarely.
Rarely.
But
So-
remember,
so-
Bob Arum just won a purse bid. He just showed him and Frank Warren showed they weight at that $42 million for Tyson and Dillian.
So if the deal is good, if the deal is good, it's good wherever it comes from for us. We're independent. We're independent. So if I take whatever deal that we do, and I take 15% and I give it to Eddie, or I take 15% and give it to whoever, it doesn't make a difference. Our pie is whole. So you can't say that it's the side of the street, because we can come on that side of the street. We can come on your side of the street. That's why he said, make an offer. You heard Eddie said, make an offer. Right? And then,
well, I seen Eddie say that he's never received any offer, an email or anything.
That's what he said is, he said, you can make an offer. Right? And Lou said, he said, you can make an offer. And he said he's never received any kind of offer. He says, but we sent over an offer in writing. One thing that they can say is that you heard Lou said is that it was a ridiculous counter offer.
Disrespectful was the word he used.
Okay, disrespectful. So I already didn't text Lou and said, what's up? Is it a holdup? Is it where that's all I want to make sure there's no holdup anywhere. Right? And there's no excuse that there's a holdup because Devin's voice has been misinterpreted or misused in some way that he's not willing to make this thing happen. And that's the only thing. Right? We won't have to talk any way other than that, and I think the text message to Lou was reiterating that. And I think that the Devin and, things that I've been hearing from their camp is that they're still trying to decide. So what I was saying is what would make us ridicule Dev? Why does it have to be when we haven't talked about the money, right? We haven't turned down any money, but it's talk about him, right? You talk about him not fighting anybody, right? We talk about all the excuses other than let's just make the fight happen. So I didn't come on here to ridicule the guy, Kambosos. I didn't come on here to ridicule Lomachenko. I just said that Lomachenko's line is his place in line is behind Devin.
All right. It should be the natural order of things should be for him to fight for undisputed. But
if you don't do that, then it's for some reason that you're ducking the guy that's in line. Now you can't make it about it's money when you said it was about legacy first, right? It can't be about legacy for one guy and not legacy with the other. So if it's about legacy for us and not about money, it should be legacy for him and not money. Or it shouldn't be about anything else. That's why those two guys got to fight.
I got Candy Slim who says Dev versus Isaac Cruz if George ducks Devin. No.
Like I said, man, all those guys are good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to talk in a way that those aren't potential fights and those aren't good. But
yeah,
there's
you just don't want to redivert the energy.
Right, huh?
You don't want to redirect the energy to anything else.
Yeah, I don't want to redirect. Yeah. I don't want to light up about this guy or light up about that guy because I feel that you know what I mean. Let's just this is the next fight. in boxing. The next big fight in boxing is Devin Haney and George Kambosos, brother. And I appreciate you allowing me to come on here.
I got one more before you jump out. J Mac in New Orleans says, why is it that Tank or Floyd's energy isn't there to fight Devin? They say everything but let's fight. Never heard Tank say let's fight yet.
Right. Well, like I said, is I always give respect to Floyd and them and what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I think that we run into a problem is because I might keep it a little bit too real sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I give them their grams. I give them that he's TBE, that he's the green print to this shit. I give him his grams that Dev has been watching him since he was a kid. And in the gym, he would announce to everyone, yeah, don't watch nobody else but me. Yeah, watch my moves, right? And so, I don't know. I just know that when I talk to Leonard and I tell Leonard, I say, Leonard, you know how tough it is? He's like, I know. I said, listen, Leonard, I know that you and Floyd went through these times. And I know that you see us going through these times. And it's only the bad motherfuckers that experience it. And you wear this shit with a smile and you already know it. But to get there, you got to go through some things that Pretty Boy and Money May went through. And that's, if you pull up all this shit, it was him begging for the fights, right? The fighters not wanting to get in there with him, so it's some eerie similarities in both Devin's trajectory and the way in which Floyd has already surmounted to.
Well, Bill, won't keep you, man. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you for coming on and clearing it up. You should do it like a summary. In closing, Devin is willing to take the Lomachenko fight, et cetera, because we got to get these clips out there.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I could say it frontwards to backwards, backwards to frontwards. In summary, Devin is willing to accept anything that Loma and Top Rank has offered Lou in order to make this fight happen. And as well as, Lou, give me a call. I can go in my pocket and kick in some too, baby.
All right. Well, Bill, once again, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you as always. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Getting it from the horse's mouth. Appreciate you, Bill.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.